Yes, we will start off looking at security, but a different aspect of it. Well, yes, you do know that for those who must have caught the news when the internally displaced persons, for instance, those in Yola, now making use of the NYSC camp, and then the same thing for some of the other areas. And so you can only wonder, oh dear, what happens to that youth commission? So we'll start off today focusing on security from the NYSC. What are they doing to ensure that core members are not in harm's way? And don't forget, they also have to grapple with the forthcoming elections. Well, Mr. Anthony Ani joins us from our studios in Abuja. He is the Director of Mobilisation for the NYSC. Morning, and thank you for joining us today, Mr. Ani. Well, speaking about the service, the Youth Corps service, what is going on? Because we know that at this time in those areas, some time ago, you remember there were those who raised questions whether or not they should deploy core members to those areas. So do you have more inquiry from more parents or even core members who raising concern about security of their wards in those areas where we've got a security challenge at the moment? I'm not sure he can hear us. Let's try that again. Can you hear us, Mr. Ani?
Chamberlain, the NYSC is very alert to its responsibilities. We have deployed core members to all the parts of the Federation. However, as I speak, the orientation camps were opened this morning. And there are 4 states where you do not have orientation going on. These are Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, and Gombe. The reasons are very, very obvious. Because of the security challenges we are having in these parts of the nation, those core members that have been deployed in those areas are going to have their orientation in a later date outside those vicinity. This is to ensure that we are in tune with what is happening. And for all the other camps, security has been provided by the security agencies in all the camps, both within and outside. And so I assure all parents and the core member, prospective core members themselves that the NYSC are taking adequate measures to ensure that these camps are well protected and their lives are also protected.
For instance, yes, you've said that where the security concern is at its highest, you will have core members deployed there at a later date. But where you have those orientation camps being utilized at the moment, so what will be the plan? Because no one knows, or you could tell us, if how long that those IDPs will make use of those areas. Does NYSC have plan to maybe get a new orientation site or what?
NYSC is not having new orientation sites in those states where you have security challenges. Our camps are still there, but we do not run orientation programs in those states. We run the orientation camps for those states. Outside those states, we run the camps in states where you do not have these security challenges. We run our orientation courses in all our orientation camps, except in those in Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, and now we have added Gombe. These core members posted in these areas will do the orientation camps elsewhere. The camps are going to be in Nasarawa, Kefi, Plateau, Benue, and then Niger State. These are the places we are going to do the orientation. For those deployed to Borno, they will be having the orientation in Kefi. For those deployed to Gombe, they will be in Niger. For those who have been deployed to Adamawa, they are going to be in Benue, while those deployed to Yobe will be in Plateau. These are the arrangements the NYSC have made to make sure that prospective corps members deployed to those areas have their orientation camp. And these programs we run in these days will effect from 26th of this month up to the 15th of December.
Does that mean that after the orientation camp, they will continue their service in those states where they've got their orientation camp and not where they were deployed?
Okay. Now, during the orientation camp, corps members are allowed, those who want to redeploy out of the states are allowed to fill their forms, and then they will be redeployed outside those states. But there are corps members who are married, their husbands are in those states, and they are going to stay there and serve. We still have corps members in those states.
You know, the issue here, I'm happy we're talking about this because loads of prospective corps members are wary. Some of them are frightened already, not knowing what exactly the NYSC has in stock for them on this particular one. How well have you been able to pass out this message so that parents as well as guardians of these people know that, well, all is well, that they won't be posted to places where there is unrest?
Before we started the orientation program, we did what we call sensitization program in virtually all the institutions of higher learning, where we told them the modalities of NYSC operations and how we handle security issues like this. We have also gone to the press to let members of the public, the prospective corps members inclusive, on the arrangements we have made or where they are going to have the orientation camps. There is need for me to say here, the corps members we mobilized, we have in excess of our camp capacity, and we do not want situations where you post corps members and they will go and be cramped into hostels and will not have the necessary good environment to perform their national service. Hence, we are going to have what we have called a Stream 2 in this Batch C. The Stream 2 will commence on the 26th of this month, November, and this will run concurrently with all those that have been deployed in those 4 states I mentioned earlier, that are now going to Niger, Nasarawa, Plateau, and Benue. The reason is that these 4 camps will be occupied from today, the 24th of this month, by corps members we posted to these states. Once they finish, on the 26th, those corps members posted to these other 4 states will come in. And during the orientation, they are going to be properly briefed, and those of them who do not want to stay in those states will be relocated or redeployed to other states. So there is no cause for alarm, and we have informed all the prospective corps members through our newspaper publication and the media.
Tell us what exactly has happened now that we have a security situation at hand. Has the program in the orientation camp changed to the extent that you have inculcated or introduced some form of security tips for these corps members, knowing full well that they have to have these so that they can better be prepared in the case of an eventuality?
The program in NYSC has
NYSC.
I'm old school now.
The first instance, on security issues, we have taught these corps members, or we are going to teach them all that they need to protect themselves. We are teaching them martial arts. We have gone further to bring security experts that are going to lecture them on security issues in all the camps. We have gone further as part of our training that by the time the corps members finish their service, instead of roaming about the streets looking for paid jobs, we will now make them entrepreneurs. So we have introduced the skill acquisition. Every corps member is asked to choose a skill. And during the orientation, they're exposed to these skills, and the training continues after the orientation. These are the things we are now injecting into the NYSC program, apart from the leadership course that we now introduce to make them more responsible citizens and prepare them for their leadership roles after the service year.
In one of the last publications or notifications, you did say that corps members who are posted to Kano will get their notification in due course. What's the update on that?
No, there is no such publication for this new batch. Maybe we are talking about the batch B, but that's what I'm saying. For the 2014 batch B, we are finished with that program. The only thing is that all those who had their orientation in the stream 2 of 2014 batch B, you know, because of the outbreak of Ebola, we could not have the orientation. They are all coming back to camp now with their colleagues in batch C to now have their own orientation. Those in Lagos, unfortunately, the stream 2 of 2014 batch B could not have the orientation because of the Ebola. They will be the first to start their own with effect from today, and they will end on the 24th. The same applies to our corps members of batch B 2014 in Osun, because we use the camp to camp the security agencies and the corps members who conducted the elections there. They could not have the election last time, their orientation last time. This time around, they will be the first to go into camp, complete the orientation on the 24th, then the batch C that have been deployed to Osun and Lagos will now commence their orientation on the 24th of this month, on the 26th of this month.